Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to go over something really exciting. We're going to go over Softr Databases. Now, this is Softr's most recent launch. I got to be a part of the beta tester group, so I got to have an early access view of this feature, and it is awesome. So essentially, when you use Softr, you normally have to use some kind of backend for your database, meaning you need to store your data for your users and all the information to populate your site in Airtable or in Notion or in all of these different places. So what they've done now is made this a native part of your Softr account. So whenever you want to build something, you're able to have databases live directly within Softr. So this is exciting for many different reasons, but one of the main reasons is that you're able to consolidate all of your different subscriptions to just Softr, and it makes it even more powerful. And a lot of the features are going to be very similar to how you would interact with your other databases, specifically Airtable. So let's go ahead and look through all of the different features that we have to be excited about in Softr Databases. So when you log into your account, you're going to see this side here where it says databases. Now from here, you can create a new database or you can jump into one that you already have made. So from here, we can also see that we can have our tabs just like what we're used to in Airtable. So we can jump through all the different pieces of data that we have. So in my case, I would use this for a CRM, for example, and I'm also building out something really exciting, which is more of a community marketplace platform where there's a community aspect, there's a courses aspect, and there's an aspect that's more of a marketplace style where you have people who are looking for someone who can work on their project, and then you have the experts who can fulfill that need. So I want this to be something where we have these two different sides to the coin, where we have people who have different roles and different permissions and different things that they can do. So I have kind of more of a complex use case here where we want to be able to do some of the more tricky things and not just the basic things. So I really wanted to put this to the test and see how it's going to handle all of those different needs. So from here, what we can see is that we can do a lot of different things. We have the ability to add different types of fields, things like short text, long text, select, which could be multiple select or just single select. So I do like this toggle feature because it's just streamlined into a single field type, and then you just toggle on whether you want multi or single select. Things like files, dates, numbers, things that we're very familiar with as no-code, low-code builders, people who have interacted with these types of tools before. I love that they already have a formula section here because this is really powerful, especially when you want to get more tricky and do more fancy things, right? I also love that we have the ability to do relations. So it's kind of like related record would be similar to a linked record in Airtable. So from here, for example, I can choose one of my other tabs to sort of link to or relate to so that we can pull that information. So for example, if I wanted to add books here and add books as a option that I want to be able to see on this screen, then I can click here and associate that particular book with this person. So if I have a book club, for example, and someone wants to be able to say, which book changed their life or whatever, you'd be able to attach these different books to this contact. So I'm really excited about this feature. I think it's very promising. I think there's a lot you can do here, especially with the fact that you're able to switch back and forth between your database and your app very quickly. So we're in our database right now, but we can click over to home. We can go into our app. So let's say, for example, I want to go over to my form page and I want to start linking the different fields and mapping them together. I would just choose my data source, and then I would choose Softr Databases from here, and then I would choose my one that I'm working on right now, and then which table. And then from here, I can map over my different questions from the form and where I want the information to go. So for example, if I want the company information to map to the company field in that particular database that I've created, then I can simply do that here. I can see the different options that are already available, and then I can allow for multiple selections. So I can do the same thing for first name and for last name and whatever else. I also like that when you say add field, you can say input, and then you can just toggle on the different things that you want to have added to this form. And then you can modify and customize how that form appears to the person who's taking this form. So that's all very exciting as well. So lots to look at here. So excited about this feature. I think it's really easy to use, very intuitive once you sort of like start actually playing with it, and very familiar interface from what we're used to as people who have interacted a lot with these different types of tools. Even in that formula field that we were looking at before, you're able to use the same formulas that you're already used to in Airtable, like concatenate, for example, or all your different conditions. So really exciting. I'm so happy that I got to be a part of this beta user group so that we can start really taking a deep dive into the different features that are going to be available. It's extremely promising. So I'm so excited for all of you to get your hands on this very soon.